Welcome dear Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to 166 meeting of Velo Toastmasters Club. And with that hello, I call to an order of 166 meeting of our Velo Toastmasters Club. And moving on, in Toastmasters Club, especially in VTC, we used to follow a formal order of our meetings. And every formal meetings has ground rules. As a typical SAA, and I have been attending a lot of sessions as a SAA and keep repeating the same ground rules and mission statements. And for this time, I want our Toastmasters to give me the information of ground rules. There are 4. What they are?
Switch off your phone.
Yeah, switch off your phones. Yeah. With that, I'll ask you to put your phones on mute or silence and give 5 seconds for that. What is the second ground rule?
All religions expressions.
Yeah. Please refrain from talking on topics, religion, sex, and politics. What is the third ground rule?
Enjoy the thing. Enjoy the weekend. Right?
No, that is.
What is it?
Yeah, that is the fourth.
Educate.
No. Come on. Nothing? Okay. The last ground rule is, as our team Karthikeyans had told, even though it's a formal meeting, don't forget to or don't be too serious. Just loosen up and enjoy the show. And the third rule, as usual, I forgot. I knew this. Okay. So moving on. It's time for the mission. Why we meet here every week. The mission of Toastmasters is to provide mutually positive environment to its members for the development of their communication as well as leadership skills. If you want to know more information, it is given here. Moving on, and my last part of address, it's about etiquettes. What are the etiquettes that we follow in our Toastmasters? Come on, Toastmasters.
We follow parliamentary procedure. We address a person by the designation that they take or a Toastmaster before they name and shake
Yes.
hands.
Yes. The first etiquette is that we don't call sir, ma'am in this Toastmasters club. We used to follow Toastmasters followed by their name. This is to signify that in Toastmasters everybody is equal irrespective of their social, educational, and age background. The second etiquette is when you move on to the next speaker, when you hand over the stage to the next speaker, it should be a formal, it should be smooth process. Instead of haphazardly moving and saying thank you and going and sitting. When you're done with your speaking, just follow the next name or say thank you. Wait for the next speaker to come on stage and shake hands and move on for your seating places. With that wraps up my address as SAA, and I will hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monesh, for laying down the ground rules. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
So, welcome to yet another meeting of fellow Toastmasters Club. So, my address today will be a little longer as I have a small recognition and it's an important one that I have to make. So, first and foremost, the Sammaritarian Award is a special award that recognizes an individual's dedication to their work, to their profession, to their co-workers, in our case, a Toastmasters club. And every year has its own challenges. Toastmaster Bharat Nandagopal, last year, the club wasn't the same as it was now. We have around 28 members. Back then it was different. But to ensure that the members had interest and the club went on, he would travel all the way from Bangalore every weekend after his work, catch a train, come to Vellore, then have a ride from 1 hour on his two-wheeler from Gudiyatham till here in Vellore, just to keep the club running. And out of 52 weeks, we had Toastmaster meetings for about 47 or so. And those 3 or 4 meetings that we did not have was because of a TMI event, which is something like a conference or a contest. So if you ask me, that is a 100% attendance in those meetings. So I still have more. I still have more. So these are not just the only challenges. We had other challenges as well. For example, we had executive committee members dropping off for their own personal reasons, like moving out of town and so on. And at that time, myself and other Toastmasters here weren't fairly acquainted with the Toastmaster meetings, and we couldn't help him much. But he used to play all those roles all by himself. And this is not an award that is easy to get, as someone else has to nominate and go and vouch for them at the district. And some of our members went on and approached our district leaders. Hey, we have a member, Toastmaster Bharat, please give him this award. They said, hey, don't worry, we already know. And so it was given. So for this well-deserved honor, let's give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Bharat. So thank you, Toastmaster Bharat, and congratulations. So now let's go ahead with the guest introduction. So at the start of every meeting, we get introductions from the guests. So I request guests to join me on stage and just share a few things about yourself. You could state your name, your profession, and where you're from. You could state how you got to know about Toastmasters and what you're looking to get out of Toastmasters. I request to kindly keep your introductions to about 20 seconds as we time everything here at Toastmasters. So first, could we start with you?
So I'm Surendra. So I'm working as a project engineer in Thermal Chemicals. So I'm coming from Kaveri Pakam. So I traveled from Manam to KPO. So I got to know of Toastmasters through a friend, and I also refer through online media, social media and all. And I got a good idea on what Toastmasters is doing, and I wanted to be a part of it. So that's why I started getting an introduction of this.
Thank you. So we do have people coming, not Kaveri Pakam, but Arka, Gudiyatham. They travel around close to an hour. So thank you and welcome. Do we have your? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Zinur Ahmed. I'm from Gulbarga, Karnataka. So I'm working at CMC Hospital. So I was looking for spoken English and personality development courses. So I was searching online about to know about the Toastmaster, and then I contacted Bharat.
So, thank you. So I think our club already has about four doctors, and I think 3 of them are from CMC already.
Okay.
So welcome to the club.
Thank you.
We have your
Good evening everyone. I'm Sasi Kumar. I'm from Thiruvannamalai. I'm working as a revenue department village administrative officer. I want to improve English knowledge and communication skill, so only I come here. But now I have poor English language to communicate with another one. I have a lot of confidence because I want to improve myself also. So உங்களெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு நிறைய கான்ஃபிடன்ட் இருக்குது, கண்டிப்பாக என்னால் அதை பண்ண முடியும், அச்சீவ் பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. இதுக்கப்புறம் எனக்கு புதிய நண்பர்கள் கிடச்சிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறப்போ ஐம் வெரி வெரி ஹாப்பி. என்னோட வளர்ச்சிக்கு கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் உறுதுணையாக இருப்பீங்க, உங்களோட வளர்ச்சிக்கு நானும் உறுதுணையாக இருப்பேன் அப்படின்னு நான் சொல்லிக்கிறேன். தேங்க்யூ.
I think you're already confident and your English is good, but I'm sure you will improve over here. Thank you for your question. So now as we move on, so today we have a couple of new role players who are taking their roles for the first time. So we have Toastmaster Karthikeyan playing as the Toastmaster of the day, we have Toastmaster Nandini playing as the table topic master, then we have Toastmaster Manoharan playing as the timer, and Toastmaster Kalai playing as the evaluator for the first time. And we also have Toastmaster Monica giving her first ever speech, which is an icebreaker speech. So I wish all the first time role players the best, and also to our speaker here today, best wishes. And now People love humor, people love charisma, and people love confidence. We have a person with all these three playing as the Toastmaster of the day. He's an engineer. He loves to read. He also loves to organize get-together. So help me welcome with a huge round of applause the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Kaushik, Toastmaster Kaushik, for the wonderful introduction. I had too many butterflies in my stomach when I was made the Toastmaster of the day. Then I thought, okay, I'll beat around the bush and do something. Okay, I welcome you all to this 166th session of the Toastmasters Club. And I am very recent, just a month and a half old. And as guest Sachikumar said, we all want to improve our skills, and I have seen Toastmaster like Nandini growing exponentially from their shell to full-fledged speakers. So, for the benefit of the guests, I would read the definition of Toastmaster from the Toastmaster International website. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that builds confidence and teaches public speaking skills through a worldwide network of clubs. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth, which is written over here. So you have lots of freedom here to develop yourself. Nobody is going to grade you or make you feel like you don't have to have a fear of being criticized for your either lack of speaking abilities or whatever. You are free to learn. Then if I want to reduce the whole thing into one sentence, nobody teaches anybody here, but everyone learns from everyone here. So that's a very wonderful free environment for you to develop yourself. Skills at your own pace and make mistakes. Nobody criticizes you for it, and you learn by experience. That is the best way, the easiest way of learning. So with that, I will get on to the theme for the day today is remember to give back. So why I chose this theme was it is actually a conversation between two popular personalities in India. One is J.R.D. Tata, who needs no introduction, and the second person is Sudha Narayanamurthy, who is a wife of N. Narayanamurthy, founder of Infosys, the global giant, IT giant. And when Telco advertised for an engineer who should be a male, Sudha wrote a postcard letter to J.R.D. Tata saying that this is not fair, why women cannot be engineers in your company. So she fought against gender discrimination way back, I don't know the year. Then got herself as appointed as the first female engineer in Telco, now which is called as Tata Motors now. So, but then she when got married to Narayanamurthy, and Narayanamurthy was founding the organization Infosys, she wanted to leave the job, and she wanted to leave the job. JRD wanted to have a chat with her, wanted to know why she was leaving. She said it is the reason. Then JRD said, you can Google and find out. Said all the very best. When you are successful, give back to the society. Society has given a lot to us, so we have to reciprocate. This is exactly the same words JRD told Sudha Narayanamurthy. This I read sometime somewhere, but it got into my head like, got into my head very strongly and firmly. And I also believe that we have to give back to the society. That is why I chose this topic. Remember to give back. Giving is one thing, giving back is another thing. Giving is charity, that you don't get anything from somebody, but you just give on your own. But giving back, and charity is optional, voluntary. But giving back is you are returning the favor you got from somebody. And it is not mandatory, it is mandatory, it's not optional. And it is compulsory as well. And you can ask how I ever got anything from the society. I'll tell you, in a homogeneous and very complex society like ours, everybody stands to gain from somebody else. Like for instance, I studied 3 years engineering in 1980, 40 years back, and the expenditure for 3 years was 12,000 rupees, including the hostel and mess fees. But was that the cost of engineering education in a very premier institute like MIT, where Abdul Kalam studied and I also studied? It would have been 10 times more. It should have been a lakh at that time. Now it would be 4 to 5 lakhs now. But then where the balance comes from? The balance comes from the government and philanthropists and other good-hearted people who want to promote education in India. And when I say government, where does the government get the money from? The government gets the money from the people of the country by way of direct or indirect taxes. So when you say indirect taxes, it is primarily the sales tax. That is, if some unknown person somewhere like auto rickshaw driver buys a product in a shop and he pays GST, that goes to the government and comes to me to fund my education. So I'm indirectly indebted to the auto driver who purchased something and paid the tax. So in general, it is in a society like ours, everyone is indebted to the society at large. I can't pinpoint that this person's sales tax has come to me. No, it is not possible. But then, it is the society at large which has contributed to my education. Same is the case like if you are buying the cooking gas at 800 rupees. It is not the cost. The cost is 2,000 rupees, the cost of production. But the government subsidizes it so that common man can afford it. So where the subsidy comes from? It comes from everybody in the country. So whenever you buy a cooking gas cylinder, then you become indebted to the society at large. So it is a must that you should give back to the society because you have directly or indirectly, very remotely enjoyed something that the society has given you. This is the logic behind the give back theory proposed by JRD to Sudha. So there are, of course, we are barred from talking about religion here, but then I would very fleetingly touch upon the all the religions teach about charity. Like take Islam, they insist 8.33% Muslims should be donated, and Bible says charity, about charity in so many verses. One particular thing that impressed me was Lord Jesus himself says that you are blessed more when you give than when you receive. He says that you are blessed to receive, to get first. You will be blessed more to give, return it. So very wonderful small verse. And in Hindu mythology and literature, so much is written about charity. Like take Tirukural for instance, there is one chapter called Adhikaram in Tamil, which is devoted to charity. And Tirukural gets very aggressive in the last couplet. He says, it is as good as to be dead than to be unable to give to others. He becomes very rather aggressive, which is not like in the last couplet. He says, it is as good as to be dead than to be unable to give to others. So this is the background and the logical, religious and literary connotation of giving back. I have some more explanation and then justification for as to why we should give back. One is sociological and the other is scientific. I will split that into two other sessions in the interlude I have between the course of the day. So with this, I request the general evaluator, Mr. T.M. Toastmaster Monish to come and sorry, T.M. Bharat to take over.
Toastmaster Karthikeyan for setting up the tone for the meeting. Well, I'm standing here after a very long back. I've been absent for 2 meetings. And it's very pleasure to see all of you coming on this very hot summer on a Sunday and trying to make your Sunday something more worthy than the other Sundays. So kudos to you, every one of you for that. Well, so as a general evaluator, so what I'm going to do, the role is very simple. So I'll be just looking up all the performances that is going to be performed on this stage. It can be the roles, speeches, or the structure of the meeting. And I'll be evaluating the whole, and I'll present my report, which will help people to learn. And I'm not going to do it alone, and I have a team to assist me, and they are called the TAG team. So TAG represents timer, R-counter, and grammarian, right? So before that, I would like to explain to you the structure of every Toastmasters meeting. So every Toastmaster meeting has 3 segments. So at first, it starts with the prepared speech segment, and second, the most exciting part, the table topics where even guests can allow to take part, and the third is the evaluation, which is considered to be the heart of every Toastmasters meeting, right? So with this, I would like to call a very important person who is an experienced person and who always try to put his 100% in whatever the role he plays, and it's none other than Toastmaster Manoharan, who is playing the role of timer.
Good evening, everyone. I am Toastmaster Manoharan. Today I am going to play the role of a timer for a prepared speech, 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Exactly at the 5 minutes, I will be waving this green flag. Then at 7 minutes, I will be flagging this.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. This yellow flag, and at 7 minutes,
Yes.
because I have not come prepared. I was
7 minutes. Okay.
7 minutes. I will be waving this red flag. Okay. 7 half an hour. 30 minutes extra.
7 minutes perfect.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a buffer period allotted to. So this is my role, and I will give this. I hope I will perform with your kind cooperation. Thank you so much. All the best for the future icebreakers speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manoharan. Now I'd like to call a very important person who has been making us not only learn on the meeting, he will always make us learn throughout the week. And I hope you guys know that whom I am addressing to. It's none other than our dedicated Toastmaster, Toastmaster Ramesh, to play the role of R-counter and grammarian.
So, good evening all of you fellow Toastmasters. Today I am going to play the role of grammarian as well as R-counter. Grammarian. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers listening very carefully to their language usage. And I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day for today is interruption. So the meaning is something that interrupts, such as question, comment or action by a person. So that is the meaning of the word interruption. And the example of using this word, the flow of the prepared speakers was disrupted, intermittently interrupted by the interrupter, Toastmaster Ramesh myself. Okay. So I've been using all these idioms for the past 1 week. I request all of you to use the idioms that have been posted in the WhatsApp group for the past 7 days. In wherever you can use those words. Okay. And also I am playing the additional role of R-counter as well. Here I will take log of the number of the crutch or pause filler words that we have used. The pause filler words are whenever we speak we say well, so, like, but, see, or other words we repeat. So those words we take a log of it, we'll just critically sit and evaluate how many number of times we spell out these words. So that at the end of the session, I'll tell you the data, how many number of times, because we tend to spell out all those words. And when we come to know, okay, these are the words that I've spoken very repeatedly, and there is a possibility for us to correct on it. Okay? So, for all the speakers, I would like to say, come here, relax, speak the way you want it, be very assertive, enjoy being here. Please come here with a commitment that I'm not going to make any grammatical mistake. It is possible. So, cut down on the pace. It is not that you wanted to speak in an urgency. No. Come here, enjoy, and over a period of time, we can build the pace. So, that is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh, for explaining about both the rules. And now I'd like to call one of the sincere Toastmasters in our club, and he's going to play the role of a joke master. And for this, I'd like to call Toastmaster Kalaimani. Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. So myself Kalaimani Shanmugam from Katpadi. I have been playing the role of joke master. So far, you have any doubt? What we covered so far, you have any doubt? No. Okay. So I would like to start with one scenario. So I attended one of the interview. I'm a co-interviewer. That time one guy entered the room. So this role actually leadership role. I asked the guy, so do you have any experience in leadership role? He told me, yes sir. So what was that? Tell me. He said, I was a group admin in my area. Oh, this is the leadership role. Okay. So one more guy, second person came to the interview room. I asked again, this is for absolutely training and coaching type of job. Do you have similar experience? Yes. He told me again, yes. How? He said, I was part of the cricket tournament. So often I said, I said some command to my colleagues. So that was a second joke. So I have a alphabet 3 joke, which is the coolest, very coolest alphabet in English.
C.
C.
B.
Yes, you are right.
Come
How?
in A and C. AC.
Yeah. Yes. And which is the very hardest letter in English alphabet?
E.
E.
P.
T. You are right. How?
It's hard with P.
Yeah. Very good. So, which is a very smiley laugher letter in English. You are right. E. Okay. So I have a couple of jokes. I think a timer is watching me. No problem. Okay. So how can we double the money easily?
Fold it.
Huh?
Fold it. Fold it.
Fold. Just get the money in front of the mirror.
Wow.
Okay.
Also,
So
you can take a picture of it.
you can double the money. I can see. Suppose you have 1,000 rupees now. Yeah. Yes. And when I was a child, I found it difficult to wake up. When I was a middle age, I found difficult in sleep. So that is a scenario of real life. You got it? When I was small, I found it difficult to wake up because I slept more than 12 hours. when I was in middle age, I found it difficult to sleep.
Guys, we are supposed to laugh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyamani. And now I'd like to call yet another enthusiastic Toastmaster who has just joined a month ago, but she has been so energetic. And now I'd like to call Toastmaster Nandini to play the role of Newsmaster.
Hi everyone, Rani. AstraZeneca acknowledged Covishield vaccine can cause a rare side effects that may lead to blood clots and low platelet counts in UK High Court documents. H5N1 bird flu detected in raw milk from dairy cattle herds across 9 US states. WHO warns of global spread to migratory birds. Flying Wedge Defense and Aerospace Technologies, an Indian defense and aerospace company, marked a milestone that India's first indigenous bomber, UAV, unnamed aerial vehicle, unveiled in Bangalore. India's meteorological department has issued heat wave warnings for several states. They also issued red alert to Odisha and West Bengal, orange alert to Bihar and Jharkhand, yellow alert to eastern Uttar Pradesh and parts of Kerala, and warned several heat wave conditions will be prevailing across the country. Madras High Court has made e-pass mandatory for non-residents of Ooty and Kodaikanal to enter hill towns to prevent traffic and pollution from May 7 to June 30. India's 17-year-old Grandmaster D. Gukesh won the Candidates Chess Tournament. He becomes the youngest challenger for the World Championship title. India finally announced squad for ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024. Rohit Sharma will lead the team and Hardik Pandya as vice captain. Noteworthy news update. Vellore Toastmaster Club Toastmaster Bharat has been honored with prestigious humanitarian award, and President Kaushik won the second place in both international speech contest and table topic contest.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nandini. And now I'd like to call yet another newbie who has just joined a month ago, and it's none other than Toastmaster Srinath to play the role of Courtmaster.
Good evening, all fellow Toastmaster and guests. I have a good quote for you. Success is not final. Success is not final. Failure is not fact. It is courage to continue with the quote. The quote by Winston Churchill. I hope most of us are aware that photograph film manufacturing company Kodak. It is very famous. They are very successful in their business in 90s, but they are not still existing. So it is very important to remember, success is not a destination. It's a journey. We should take courage to continue when things get tough. So my perspective always think success will give you more confidence, but failure will give you more experience. See, whatever you want, like experience or confidence is based on. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinath. Yeah, so with this, my team's introduction is done. And actually, Kaushik has forgot to mention one important thing during his presiding address. That is, he himself won the second place in the international speech contest and the table topic contest in division level, right? For those of you who don't know what is a division level is, so usually the contest starts from the club level and it goes to the best of two from the club level goes to the area level, and the best of the two people from the area will go to the division level, and from division it goes to the district. So district is the final stage for most of the contest. Right? If he won the second place in the division level, and if he could have got the first place, he could have represented our club in the district. But the second place and first place, it's not you could not find many difference between these places, because it just takes a single point that determines the first place and second place, right? And I actually thought even Kaushik would have got first place, because I really loved the speech. He was really confident and he was bold on the stage, and I hope the people who witnessed the speech, everybody felt the same. So I was really proud at the stage about Kaushik and the club for taking to the club to that level and winning that trophy. It was a really great achievement. So we can give yet another applause for him. Thank you, Kaushik, for that. Yeah, with this, our tag team's introduction is done. And at the end, I hope we will remember to give back with our reports. Over to you, Toastmaster.
I welcome you all to this session again. See, every session is distinctly divided into 3 parts. One is the prepared speech session, the second one is table topic session, and third is the evaluation session. So now we'll start with the prepared speech session. The first speaker is Toastmaster Monica. Before I introduce her to you, I call upon Toastmaster Kalemani, who is the evaluator for the first speaker, to come and say a few words.
So I would like to introduce my target speaker, Monica. Monica is a chartered accountant. I've been working with Vellore last 5 more years. She love to travel all around the world. She's trying very hardly. So, project detail about Monica. Full of the life and happiness. Path is motivational strategy and level 1, and project name is Icebreaker. So best of luck, Monica. Monica will rock. Yes.
Toastmaster Monica, actually Toastmaster Kalemani has finished the introduction. Well, she is the most qualified here, I believe, because chartered accounting is something I always dread. Too difficult a course to do for anybody. She is a qualified chartered accountant and she loves travel. And this is level 1, project 1, and the pathway is motivational strategies. Please come. Toastmaster Monica, full of life and happiness. Full of life and happiness, Toastmaster Monica.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I would like to share with you all how a failure of mine changed my life into a beautiful one. I was very good at academics. I haven't failed in anything until I gave my CA final exams. I required 200 marks to qualify as a chartered accountant. Any guesses how much did I get? Exactly. I got 199 marks. Because of that 1 mark, I remained as a CA student. So as soon as I saw the results, the first thing I did was to run to my room and lock my door. I did not fear for my failure, but I was so afraid to face the people. After seeing the results, I stopped talking to my father and brother. I was not using my mobile phones even. I was socially disconnected from every person and everything around me. My father could not take this behavior of mine for a very long time, so he came to me and spoke to me. His words changed my life. He said, Moni, you can take as much time as you want. You can fail any number of times before you become a chartered accountant. But even though you will become a chartered accountant one day, if you fear to face people, you are going to be an eternal failure in life. Those words struck me really very hard. What is the point in becoming something if I am going to be an eternal failure? In that moment, I actually determined to overcome this fear of facing people. Instead of locking myself in my room and avoiding to go and reach out people, I slowly started voluntarily going to people and started speaking to them. Guess what? People were not that bad as I feared. They were actually lovable, encouraging, motivating, and they brought me so much of positivity into my life. And what was those things that I was actually feared about? I came to a realization that all my fears were just my imaginations. They were not the reality. Now, if you put me into a room full of people, I may fail, I may be less fluent, I may be even less qualified, But one thing is for sure, I'll be very much comfortable around the people. Because now I think this world is my home and there are no strangers in it. They are just friends with whom I have not spoken yet. That gave me to one more clarity in my life. With all our fears, we are just going to add days to our life. But by overcoming our fears, we are going to add life and happiness to our days. I have set many goals to achieve in my life, but my primary goal is whenever people speak to me, think of me or remember me, they should say, this girl is full of life and full of happiness, and I'm constantly working on my goals. To conclude, I'll just remind you all, what is the point in adding days to your life if you could not add life and happiness to your days? Now the ball is in your court. Think about it, overcome your fears. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monika. It was a wonderful, perfect icebreaker speech because he spoke very clearly, elaborately about our own personal experience, which is what an icebreaker speech should be. And we'll now take 1 minute silence for the evaluator to do the evaluation before the second speaker comes over.
1 minute silence.
Right? 1 minute. The second speaker of the day is Toastmaster Trivedan. His pathway presentation mastery, level 2, project 2, effective body language. The speech title is The Great Indian Rat Race. Before calling on the speaker, I would like the speaker evaluator, Mr. Monish, to come and tell about the objectives. Toastmaster Monish.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. My target speaker is doing level 2, project 2, under the project name of effective body language in his path of presentation mastery. The purpose of his speech is to be aware of his intentional and unintentional body language and to sharpen his skills with regards to non-verbal communication. I wish all the best to Toastmaster Trivedan for his speech. And over to Liam.
I call upon Toastmaster Trivedan to deliver his speech titled The Great Indian Rat Race. Toastmaster Trivedan, The Great Indian Rat Race. The Great Indian Rat Race, Toastmaster Trivedan.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction. The Great Indian Rat Race. I think this is a topic that would resonate with the 90s as well as the early 2000 children over here. I think you know it, I guess. You would have heard of it. So for the others, even then, I guess even the adults would have heard of it to an extent. This is basically, the Great Indian Rat Race is basically an Indian mindset to push the children, young children over here to compete in these competitive exams like IIT JEE as well as there is AIMS and there are other exams. So why did I choose this topic, you see? 4 days back, there was a big instance that happened over here. The UPSC results were announced. See, that was the day the front page of the Hindu paper had all this advertisement regarding civil service organizations.
the competitive organizations, they posted their toppers, the list of their toppers, their achievers, and the offer to join. And the very next day, another organization did the very same thing. Except when I compared, I was kind of irked a bit. Because I distinctly remember the same toppers were there in the previous day's paper from a very different organization. So I was a bit confused. How can this be? How can the same person go to two different organizations and get the same and be a part of two different organizations? So this led me to think of my very own journey in the Great Indian Rat Race. See, I was once a student as well. I was, as Ms. Monica said, I was a very studious person. I generally, studies, I took it very seriously. I ensured that I never failed anything. This happened during my 6th standard. It was a career fair day, wherein students have to come forth on the stage and speak about what they want to do. I was a 6th standard, I didn't even know what was happening that day. So I didn't remember, like, it was like that. So I came forth and I was asked to come forth and I was asked to tell about what I wanted to do in the future. And they also had another thing that I found out to be quite ironic. See, in the class board, they wrote a huge text about an idiom. I think it's very popular. Be the change that you wish to see in this world. And in front of that, they had 2 photo booths of sorts. Photo booths in the shape of a doctor, and the other one was an engineer. We are supposed to come forth and put our face over there, and the person can take a photo over there. See, this was something I didn't understand at that time. But after looking at this advertisement, I thought back at that time and recall this, and I thought it was something that was my first step towards this rat race. And at that time, I wanted to be a pilot. You see, I told them in the class as well. And I distinctly remember the teacher telling me that to be a pilot, you need to go and do engineering. You can start with IIT JEE. See, at that time, what is the point of doing this examination? I didn't realize it. I mean, why does a pilot need an engineering degree, isn't it? But flash forward to 10th standard. This is my second instance where I had to face a crossroads of sort. This is where you have to choose your stream, isn't it? 11th and 12th, you have to choose science or commerce or humanities. See, by that time, I was able to realize what I wanted to do, at least to an extent. I actually was very good with history, and I really wanted to be a paleontologist, about the person who deals with dinosaurs and fossils and all that. Could be a childish fancy, but I really wanted to be a paleontologist. I wanted to be the person who goes to these archaeological sites to dig up these skeletons and dig up the historical artifacts. But then I was told, when I approached my teacher, my counselor, career counselor regarding this, and I was told that this was a very not lucrative proposal, not lucrative career option. You could do far better than this. It's only failures go to humanities. Indeed, I was told the very same. I still remember this. Failures go to humanities and commerce. You are a very bright boy. You should say science. Not just normal science, you have to take science with biology. I had absolutely no interest in biology. Never even, I was really not bad at it per se, but no interest. But then because of this and boom, pressure, I chose that. And now because of that, I did my 11th and 12th with biology. Since I took biology, I was asked to try both the engineering exam as well as the medical exam. As if one wasn't enough, I had to do both. And that was, my friends, it was the most hectic year of my life. Had to sit down for, had to cut off all my friends. There was no contact with any of the other members of my family, my extended family. I had to sit alone, study for 8 hours, have to go to tuitions, come back, and in the end, ended up missing both of them by just a small margin. Something that remained till now. But now, when I look back, I just think, what did I do for these years? All my childhood, I just spent my time studying. I missed the most integral portion. I did not play with my friends. I did not go anywhere. And it was like a realization that I realized that I had wasted that period of my time with just these books and all that. And now I look at all these organizations all these organizations implying these offers. See, this recently I saw this FitG, I believe a popular organization, which posted an option to start from the grade 6, to join the tuitions from grade 6 and till grade 12 so that you can be a proper IIT. I mean, what is happening to us indeed? So I realized, what should we do to prevent this mindset from happening? What should we see? We have to ensure that our parents, we have to see that if the next generation do not go through this, and we have to let them know that there are various other options and you can genuinely do whatever you wish to do. So yes, thank you.
The third speaker of the day is.
Sorry for the interrupt. 1 minute silence.
1 minute of silence, sir. I also forgot the same thing when I was at TMUD.
Happens. Good interruption. Yeah, the third speaker of the day is Toastmaster Kriti. She is a software engineer by profession. Her hobbies are reading, journaling, and very interestingly baking. One day she hopefully bakes a cake for us. And she has a wonderful motto in her life: where there is a will, there is a way. Before calling on the speaker, I would like to call the speaker evaluator, Toastmaster Kaushik.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So my target speaker, Kriti, is pursuing presentation mastery as her pathway. She's in level 4 and she's doing a project managing a difficult audience. So the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to address an audience while giving a speech outside of Toastmasters. So for this, when my target speaker is speaking, there are 5 other role players in the audience, such as an interrupter, such as a chatter. So when the speaker is speaking, these role players will cause ruckus or some nuisance when the speaker is speaking, and the speaker will have to address this during her speech and continue on with her speech. And my evaluation will not be based on the speaker's delivery, but how she handles the disturbances that occurred during her speech. So with this, I encourage the disturbers to disturb more and I also wish my target speaker the best. Thank you.
The word of the day, interruption, is most suited for this speech, I guess. So I call upon Toastmaster Kriti. Our topic is haste is not a blessing. Toastmaster Kriti, haste is not a blessing. Haste is not a blessing. Toastmaster Kriti.
Reduce 10 kilos of weight in 1 week. Get rich in 1 month.
How? How is it possible?
That's what. I'll let you know once this begins. These sentences look amazing, right, Toastmaster Khalid? So, but I would like to tell that these are just words. In real life, it is not possible. We all know that. Today in generation, everyone wants quicker and fast results. 21st century is going on, and everything is available at one click. No one wants to wait. Waiting is a problem for today's generation. So let me tell you about myself in a scenario in whenever I used to go for multiple choice questions, multiple choice exams. There will be 4 options given to a question. So what I used to do, I used to see the first option. No, it doesn't seem correct. Then I go to the second option. It seems correct and I proceed. I tick and come out. And even though the time is remaining, I don't check the recheck the answers and come out with the exam. Later to realize the answer was the 4th option. So then I realized patience is really important. So what is patience, may I ask? Can anyone tell what is patience?
Somebody going to hospital.
Okay, nice example. Anyone else? What is patience?
Actually, I found that.
Huh?
I was about to tell that.
So wait for something.
Remaining stay put.
Remaining?
Stay put. Calm, not
No time to have.
Ability to tolerate.
Yeah, all of your answers are right. So patience is the process of the is a process of the about to delay. Yeah, it's about to you have to tolerate delay without.
What is the topic that you're speaking of?
You'll this patience, sir. Like you'll get to know about this topic. So patience, I'm just telling the definition of patience. What it is about to tolerate delay without being anger or without responding in disrespect, and having So what did I tell? By now, can you tell what is patience?
Something to do with hospitals.
Yeah, that what Toastmaster colleague said. This tolerating delay and not responding in anger or disrespect. That is patience. Okay, let me all give you a scenario, easy scenario. Like let's all imagine a scenario. Okay, you're in a heavy traffic jam, and it's soaring heat, and you're stuck in the traffic. There's so many vehicles ahead of you, and you want to reach a venue. You keep on honking and feeling irritated, and you keep on shouting, and you open the window and try to fight with the drivers outside and all. But will that help? Because it is too much packed that with your honking, your shouting, nothing will happen. You have to wait. There's no other thing to do. Okay, let me give you another scenario. You are in a shopping mall. You have taken all your groceries and filled your trolley. And when you're going for billing, the queue is very long. And you want to leave immediately because you took time to select items. But leaving, you want to leave early. Okay. So you stand here, you like complain about this one billing counter, like why there are no many other counters, and you keep on complaining, and that doesn't help. So that's what I tell. Patience is really important in our today's generation, where we all start becoming impatient.
You're working in hospital or in a traffic? Are you a traffic police? You're talking about two concepts. Please clarify.
I'm not a traffic police, neither I work in hospital. So I'm just telling about I analyze people, how people are nowadays, even myself. We are all trying to be impatient in today's life. So I'm just elaborating.
Sorry for the interruption. Your topic is case is not a blessing, but you are talking more of patience. Actually, your topic, either the topic should have been different. Patience is a blessing.
No, haste is what? Haste is not a blessing. Means haste means fast, like doing things quicker. That's what I'm addressing. And people who have any questions about patience will discuss more detailedly at the end of the meeting. You all can connect and speak about the patience. So what I was now let's come and let me take you to a real case study which happened. There were two companies. Toothbrush companies. One is Tollgate and one is Dispodent. Okay. So before there were toothbrushes and toothpaste for adults, but later there was a need for toothbrushes for kids in the market. So what did the company Tollgate did is they went into the market very soon. They went with a long tiny brush for the kids to hold easily. And they went into the market and they started selling the toothbrush. But what the company Despoden did, they went through a research, they took survey. Yeah, Despoden. Yeah, I don't want to take the real
Okay.
Despoden.
Masquerading.
So Despoden went into the market with, they took a survey and they found out, they went in market with cartoon characters in the toothbrush so that it can attract the kids. And they went for a longer toothbrush so that they can easily hold and good bristles for easily cleaning. When they went to the market, they started dominating the market and they were a big hit. So this is what I like to tell, that during initial stages, spend as much as time to understand the process, rather than you'll get more confidence for it to sustain for a longer period. So I would like to tell 3 takeaways which I want to tell in my speech is whatever you want to achieve in your life, first try to understand the process, take time to understand the process, because if you go for shortcuts and quicker results, you will end up getting instant success, but longer time it will not sustain. And secondly, I would like to tell that time will surely test your patience, but have always keep yourself up and have it never give up attitude, because patience is patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweetest of all. The patient, whatever the fruit beared by patience, it's like a kind of phrase, so I'm not telling that. So it will be sweetest if you wait for some time. Nowadays, people tolerance level is very low of us all. So sometimes, and I also like to say that along with patience, smart work is also important. It's like you don't keep on waiting. You need to have even smart work. So have patience in life and thank you for patiently listening to my speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kriti. She could handle the interruptions as well as possible. And 1 minute for the evaluators. The fourth speaker of the day is Toastmaster Bharat, the Samaritan Award. And he is a structural steel detailing engineer, my creed. By profession and a public speaker by passion. He is so dedicated, as Toastmaster Kaushik elaborated in his opening remarks, that he takes so much of pain to come from Bangalore to here, where we cry for coming from Krishna. So, before calling on the speaker, I would call the speaker evaluator, Toastmaster Monish.
Thank you, Toastmaster today. My target speaker, Toastmaster Bharat, will be doing his level 3 project 2. The project name of Inspire Your Audience under path Engaging Humor. The purpose of this speech is to develop a speech that inspires audience. And I wish all the best to my data speaker, Toastmaster Bharat. What do you do?
Toastmaster Bharat. The moment I read this topic, many butterflies were in my stomach again. This is the second time. Toastmaster Bharat, Camfrina Globosa. Camfrina Globosa, Toastmaster Bharat.
Do you guys know what Camfrina globasa is?
Flower.
It's this flower that never withers, aptly called Vadamalli in Tamil. This flower has the ability to give a prolonged display of beauty and color at any situation and environment. Isn't this interesting? We all want to bloom and shine like this flower. But whenever people who try to push their limits often end up with embarrassing situations, and I see them completely broke and stuck. And I'm not an exception though. My dear Toastmasters and the beautiful guests of Vellore Toastmasters Club. This happened years before when I was studying 9th standard. Having completed my entire schooling in Tamil medium, I always had a very special crush on the subject English and the people who are speaking it. Hey, crush on their speaking skills only. At the same time, I was highly terrified to communicate with someone in English. To make matters worse, we got a new English ma'am named Usha Kannan who would not speak even a single word in Tamil. So whenever I wanted to ask her something, while sitting on my bench, I used to write it down, memorize it, with slim confidence, at last say, "Good morning, ma'am." And one day, she came up with an activity, what she called as an innovative idea. She suddenly called, "Gopinath and Bharat, come here. Gopinath, you're the vegetable shopkeeper, and Bharat, you're the customer. Now you both have to perform a 1-minute dialogue." I was like, what? Hey, I see some of you are smiling. I had not yet been introduced to Toastmasters. Table and topic were two different words to me then. But Gopinath was not like me. He used to behave like a descendant of Shakespeare. But to be honest, he was really good. And finally, he started asking, "Bharat, what do you want?" My mind went completely blank. I forgot all the vegetable names in English. My legs started shivering, my hands were trembling, my heartbeat was racing. I was not only scared to see Gopinath, but anybody in front of me. Finally, I finished my activity without uttering a single word. And the entire crowd laughed at me. And I retreated with heads down, full of shame and embarrassment. Have you ever been in a situation like this, when you really love something and you're desperate to get it, but things around you seems terrifying and your hopes are shattered? But trust me, that embarrassment that I had helped me find my true passion towards public speaking. And no more shivering legs, trembling hands, or raising heartbeat. I'm not just speaking, just looking at you all confidently. As a flower blooms in many unexpected places, embarrassment can sprout in many situations in life, even in a luxurious hotel. I was working in Bangalore. After having a hectic day, me and my colleague Vincent had planned to go one of the finest hotels in Bangalore named Ambari Gardenia. But even the waiter was more royally dressed than us. He came to us and asked, "Sir, may I know what you would like to order?" And he gave a menu which had 32 pages. Forget understanding the dishes. We could not even pronounce many of the names. Finally, we ordered 2 chicken biryani and 2 boiled eggs. And after the waiter had left, we were still reviewing the menu. And then we got a slight heart attack after seeing the boiled egg priced at 60 rupees. As far as we knew, the price of an egg is 6 rupees. If you put it in the hot water for 15 minutes, boiled egg is ready. Anyways, with no options left, we finished the delicious chicken biryani and the suspicious boiled egg. and waited for the tray. And then suddenly we saw the waiter was coming towards us with something that we did not order. A bowl in his hand, and there is some water inside. And a small piece of lemon was just dancing at the top. He kept it on the table. We were perplexed for a moment. Suddenly, my friend Vincent said, "Hey, it's a lemonade, man. See, there is a lemon at the top." And he had planned to drink it. Vincent, wait. Who will give a lemonade in a bowl? And what will they charge for this? Remember, a single boiled egg costed us 60 rupees. So let us first check with the waiter. But we were so embarrassed to ask it to the waiter on what he had brought. So we both just rushed to the restroom, washed our hands, paid our bills, and got back to the room. The next day, we got to know that is a finger ball which is meant to rinse and wash our fingers after finishing the meal. And we felt so embarrassed at our ignorance and the act of running away. My dear Toastmasters, we face many such numerous situations in life. Because of the embarrassment, we try to escape from the situations and missing out the opportunities to learn, correct, and improve. It could be just as simple as asking an extra cup of sambar in a restaurant, or getting a 1 rupee bag from a bus conductor, to things that are as crucial as asking the salary hike. Are we really escaping? Face your fears, embrace your embarrassments, because that is what going to help you. Life will throw lemon at you. Don't make lemonade. Just catch it, squeeze it in life's eyes, because you're stronger than what life thinks about you. The next time you face an embarrassing situation, remember Gamfrana globasa, that never withers but stays blossom with determination and courage at any situation. Over to you.
That was a wonderful Gamfrina globasa speech by Toastmaster Bharat. 1 minute for the evaluators before we break for the refreshments. With this, we come to the end of the first session of prepared speech. We'll have a break of 7 minutes now before we go on to the next session, which will be table topic session. So let's get back here within 7 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back to the second session of the day. Before we start our table topic session, I would continue with my theme of the day for 2 minutes. I was talking about the religious, logical, and literary connotations of the giving back, the act of giving back. Now I would explain the real sociological need of giving back. See, in a society, there cannot be a huge gap between the have and the have-nots. If this gap keeps increasing, it will reach a volatile situation where civil war will break out. If the have-nots are deprived of the basic things and they are become desperate, they'll throw law to the winds, they'll take the law into their hands, they'll do anything, whatever they want to get the basic thing, food. It is not an imagination, it happens many times in the African countries like Rwanda, Burundi, even Sudan, Nigeria. It happened in Sierra Leone. It has happened in these countries. And it is unthinkable for a country like India, which is so populous, that a civil war can break out. It will be a catastrophic situation, cannot be handled by any army in the world. Because the population is 140 crores and you need all the armies in the world to control them. If, of course, I am talking about an extremity which is just impossible. It is improbable but not impossible. Can happen if this gap between the have and have-nots keep growing. So logically, to keep the gap less, what the have should do is give to the have-nots. Have the have-nots not only refers to the money or the food aspect of it, it is also the knowledge, the education, other infra facilities. All things go together. I mean, for the section of the society to be happy and peaceful, all are required. Basic thing is food, and apart from that, clothing, shelter, and whatnot. So all these things should be fulfilled. If some section of the society is not getting these things, the other well-to-do society should ensure that these people get a part of it. If they don't care and if they don't give back, as Jayani said, there will be a real sociological disorder, which in the worst event can culminate into a civil war, which will be disastrous for any country. So, 2 points I missed out in my introductory session. As I told you, this word of giving back, I took it from a conversation between J.R.D. Tata and Sudha Narayanamurthy. And Sudha Narayanamurthy is the awardee of both the highest civilian awards of Padma Vibhushan and Padma Shri. And she happens to be the mother-in-law of the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. So, such an exemplary character she is. So, the third aspect of, the fourth aspect of scientific explanation for giving back, I will cover it in the next interlude. Now, I will call upon the table topic master, Miss Toastmaster Nandini, to take over.
Hi, good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and the guests. I hope I will stay cool as Cuckoo while I speak, despite the butterflies I have. Butterflies in my stomach. The topics that I have prepared for you all will help you to improve your communication skills and help all of us to think on your own. Table topic is not restricted only for the club members, even the guests can also participate. The timer card for the speakers, green card will be shown when you exceed more than 1 minute. A yellow card will be shown
at 1 minute 30 seconds.
At 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card will be shown when you reach 2 minutes, and the speakers who speak less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes 30 seconds will be disqualified. To make this table topic session a little more interesting, I brought 10 color pencils because I love colors. It makes me relaxing and it makes me feel good. So you can choose any color, but the colors, I have 10 different colors. You can choose any one color so that I will ask you the question or whatever from the table topic. So anyone volunteer to?
Green.
Green, dark green and light green.
Dark green.
Dark green, okay. What's the one thing you want to give back to your siblings? Sorry, Toastmaster. Kalai. What's the one thing you want to give back to your siblings in a funny way? What's the one thing you want to give back to your siblings in a funny way?
Thank you for the question. So, table topic master, I would like to appreciate your effort. You brought some innovative idea. I appreciate you and I appreciate your question. So, basically I had 4 siblings. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters that are elder to me. So when I was a college student, I had a lot of commitment. One of my elder sister, she did not marry at the age of 23. So my family member told me, I'm only the earning person in my family. You know, I was a photographer. So I earned a lot of money from my business. That time they told me, you have to take care of your sibling marriage, education, everything. That time even I put my more effort and I'm looking for the opportunity which was in around me. And I got some opportunity from various financial advisor and some part-time job. I did whatever chance I got near me. I utilized the opportunity very well and I earned more than 1 lakh at the age of 23. I did 2-3 jobs. So that was very big money. Then finally I did the marriage very nicely and a lot of my neighbors, my family members appreciate me. At the age of 21, you did a fantastic job. So I love that. So it was, I take care of my sibling life. I want to also give back to the society. Whenever I had chance, I motivate a lot of people, a lot of audience in my class. Thank you.
It was a nice speech. I liked it. I usually like humorous speech. Next, any guests? Okay, I'll pick Mr. Sasi Kumar. Choose the color. Silver. Blue. One thing, Sasi Kumar, Toastmaster.
Yes.
Yes. Sasi Kumar. One thing you appreciate the most about nature and want to protect. One thing you appreciate the most about nature and want to protect. Yes, Sasi Kumar.
Try to speak in English, it's no problem.
You can take some time, maybe 10 20 seconds if you want to take it.
You can mix Tamil and English. Repeat that.
One thing you appreciate the most about nature and want to protect.
There are many
no issue. Take your time. See,
I will take
சுற்றுப்புறச்சூழலில் உங்களுக்கு பிடித்தமானது எது and அது எப்படி காப்பாற்ற வேண்டும்?
நம்மளோட டெஸ்ட் நான் இங்கிலீஷில் கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது சார். நான் நேற்று இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நான் இங்கிலீஷில் பேசுகிறேன் சார்.
இல்ல that is why you are here. You have to start.
இல்லை சார், ஒரு டைம் இருந்தால் நல்லா இருக்கும்னு பார்த்தேன் சார்.
ரெண்டு ஜெயில
இப்போ mix பண்ணுறது
You can speak on any topic you like, sir. Speak it. Even simplest topics. But you have to speak, sir.
So good evening to everyone. Very thank to Toastmaster Anjali ma'am to give the topic to me, because I love nature. Without nature, we sit here, we sit no one here. Everyone take a step to protect nature, because நிறைய வெயில் இருக்குது, நிறைய கஷ்டப்பட்டு இருக்கோம். இதெல்லாம் காரணம் நேச்சர் வந்து பேலன்ஸாக இல்லாதது தான் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ we have to take steps to balance the nature. Everyone எல்லாருமே வந்து ஒரு ஒர்க் என்ன எடுத்துப்போம். என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, everyone to plant trees near our house, our companies, our offices. So it will reduce the temperature of our nature. இப்போ நமக்கு பரவாயில்லையா இருக்கும், பட் ஆனால் ஃப்யூச்சரில் இன்னும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வெப்பநிலை ரொம்ப அதிகமாகிட்டு தான் இருக்கும், டெம்பரேச்சர் அதிகமாகிட்டு இருக்கும். நம்மளுடைய எதிர்கால சந்ததிகள் அதனால் ரொம்ப பாதிக்கப்படுவாங்க. அதனால் நம்ம எல்லாரும் ஒரு மரம் நடுவோம் அப்படின்றது என்னோட பெரிய வேண்டுகோள்.
It was nice actually, but you can come up with some more English words in your sentence so that you can try gradually. It's okay to stumble.
That's what that is.
The next, any volunteers?
Yes.
I'll take it.
Okay.
You have it?
Yeah. Self. Your name?
Sorry.
Yes, Surendra. Self-care is a divine responsibility. Self-care is a divine responsibility.
Thank you.
Surendra.
So, hello everyone. I'm Surendra. Thank you, Toastmaster Nandi, for giving me the topic. So, self-care is a divine responsibility. So, every one of us here have an we are supposed to take care of ourselves, because no one else will take care of us if we don't do it. So, let's say if you are taking care of yourself, you are putting a step towards finding yourself better in the future. So, if you are not taking care of yourself, who will take care of yourself? So, find something that will motivate you to find self-care, and if you are self-help is the best help. There's a proverb called self-help is the best help. So, find yourself in the ways where you can improve yourself, not only physically, also mentally. So, self-care depends on not only on physical status, it also depends on the mental health of the people. So, find yourself doing things that will help you improve yourself in the future, and also that will give you motivation to speak in the future. So, if I take care, like if I have to give an example of myself, I'm very comfortable speaking alone. So, if I'm presented with a topic and I'm between people, I stumble a lot. So, this is like I have experienced this for so many times and so many period of time. So now I'm trying to improve myself from what I am to what I have to be, because I have a picture of myself on where I stand. I have to be there, so I have to do something to get there. So taking care of myself is the first thing that I'll do to go there. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well done. I like your confidence and clarity. Next, I'd like to call Toastmaster Kalai.
Yes. He gave already.
Another guest.
Doctor from Gulbarga.
Toastmaster Srinath. Choose your color. How do you express gratitude to your parents? How do you express gratitude to your parents? Toastmaster Srinath.
You express gratitude to your parents. Without my parents, I'm not there. Because my father was working in defense. He was there in the border for almost most of the years. I was with my mother only. So I would like to thank my mother because my mother only teach me like everything, what is good, what is bad, without my father. When I was past my 12th standard, then only my father was retired. I don't have much interaction with my father when I was in childhood. So I would like to thank my both parents, both my mother and father, for helping me to develop my every skills and everything. Thank you.
Good speech. I can resonate with you deeply. Next, any guests?
Only one guest. Doctor.
Just give it a try. Okay.
Listen.
It's a very difficult area to come and stand where somebody asks questions and you have to answer spontaneously. I refrain from these activities. I want to sit silently. Anyway, we give it away. Give me blue month.
Sir, you do.
Yeah.
Same topic.
Same topic.
Now Preeti will interrupt you.
Vengeance.
One thing you appreciate the most about nature and want to protect. One thing you appreciate the most about nature and want to protect.
One thing that we want to protect is our police. And we recently did an audit in the transport department. And where we applied so many number of buses from the main campus to Ranipat campus. And how environment friendly we are, we want to understand. And we did a comparative study between the usage of cars versus the buses. What if all the patients have to travel through cars? And what if all the patients have to travel by bus? It was a fantastic study. And during that study, we understood the beauty of trees. The carbon absorption by a tree per annum is 22 kgs. A tree, what we plant, can absorb almost 22 kgs of carbon in a year. How much we expel by driving cars or buses. The amount of patients that are being transported from Ranipat campus to main campus back and forth, we really require almost 14,000 odd trees to absorb whatever that emission that comes out of the buses. When it is by cars, it is almost 1 lakh and more of trees that is really required for the amount of kilometers that is being commuted. So this is what the efficiency of the trees what we have. So that is the gift that the nature has given us, and we have to protect it because we emit a lot of carbon footprint. Thank you.
Great job, sir. Your speech is inspiring. One more. I'd like to hand over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kathleen.
She was just 2-3 sessions back she joined. Phenomenal improvement. What she was first, good improvement. All the best. Take care. So the before we go on to the third session of evaluation, I will have a small. I will have to complete my theme with one more aspect of the act of giving back. As she gave this topic twice, what do you like most in nature and how do you want to protect it? Yes, even nature insists that we give back. How I'll explain, because I am a very devoted student of physics and an automobile engineer later. Because physics teaches the most wonderful things in the world. Everything is physics. AC is physics, light is physics, and fan is physics. That's why we used to rank the mathematics students those days. My very revered lecturer Hariharan used to say in those days that any system in the world seeks equilibrium on its own. Nature seeks equilibrium. Like it's burning hot now, you'll have rains maybe in a day or two, because nature wants to compensate. In physics, we see electricity flows from high voltage to low voltage, compensation. Light travels from darkness to darkness to make it bright, and liquids always find their level. Gases at a higher pressure travel to the lower pressure and trying to strike a balance. So physics or nature, whichever you call it, they always seek a balance, equilibrium in their system. Similarly, as I explained to you, in the society also there should be equilibrium. There cannot be too much of inequilibrium. As Professor Hariharan said, if the inequilibrium exceeds, violent external forces will act upon the system to bring about equilibrium. Like as I was talking about civil war, if there is too much of difference between the poor and the rich, the poor get deprived of the basic things like food and all that, they will become violent. They will even try to topple the government, loot the supermarkets, kill the police and the army. Then it will be total chaos and ruckus in the whole country. So this is what physics says. Any system has to have equilibrium, and if the inequilibrium exceeds a limit, violent external forces will act upon the system to bring about equilibrium, as is explained. So, when we give back to the society, we are only obeying the laws of physics. Like, however high you go in science and technology, the basic laws of physics will hold good, like Newton's law of motion or Ohm's law of current or Boyle's law. They will hold good. Even when Chandrayaan, one of the Chandrayaans crashed on the moon, it was because the second law of motion was calculated wrongly. B squared minus U squared is equal to 2AS. There was of course, the calculation was right, but to put that in to decelerate the spacecraft, probably it did not. The work was not done properly, so it crashed. So any amount of height you reach in life, the basic laws of nature or physics, whichever you call it, has to be obeyed if life has to be smooth and peaceful. So that is why we say, please give back to the society. Remember, why I say remember, maybe now you will not be able to give anything to the society, but later on when you are resourceful enough, you should be able to give back to the society. So remember to give back, and the ball is in your court. So let us go to the evaluation session. I call upon the general evaluator, Toastmaster Bharat, to take over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, for successfully running the show. So now we enter into a most important part of every Toastmasters meeting, that's the general evaluation. So at first, we will go with the individual evaluators. Firstly, I would like to call the evaluator 1, Toastmaster Kalani.
So my target speaker is Monica. She delivered a icebreaker speech. Really, I was wonder how she did a fantastic speech at first time. I want to appreciate her. And her voice clarity is very nice. The speech was very perfect, I think so. Vocal variety also, she used low and medium and high tone also, which was amazing. And eye contact, she used her eye contact everywhere. I think she used better way. And gestures also, physical gesture also very good. And hand gesture and especially eye contact, smiling face, which was very nice. And audience, also she attract the audience. Each and every story she started from childhood and his college days, say exam and everything. And comfort level. She had very good comfort level in his stage, no fear. She delivered very nicely. And she created a lot of interest. Audience are very excited. So what was next? This kind of feeling we have. That's really amazing. And also she had brought a story also, his childhood story and his college story also, which was fantastic really. And suggestion part, I have two suggestions. One is stage movement. While you are speaking, just start with the left, middle of the story, middle of the speech, middle, and end of the speech is right side. That's one suggestion from my side. And suggestion number 2. So timings. You have to focus on timing. But icebreaker speech time is 4 to 6 minutes. But I think you spend very less time. I think so. That's one suggestion for myself. Otherwise, my target speaker is very nice. He did a fantastic job. I would like to appreciate again. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalaimanu. Now I'd like to call the evaluator to Toastmaster Monica.
Thank you, General Evaluator. The Great Indian Practice by Toastmaster Triveda. And I want to reiterate that the purpose of this speech is to know the unintentional and intentional body language when a speaker speaks. So my feedback would be based on this. Starting with that, Toastmaster Triveden can be the example of cool as cucumber. Even though he goes through a tough situation while speaking, his attitude or body language wouldn't show that much. So naturally he has that kind of an attitude. You don't feel that he's going through a tough situation in this while he's speaking. Starting with, I will start with the feedbacks and then I will go to the favorite parts that I noticed in your speech. The first is you topping from your toes. While speaking, top from your toes. That is the unintentional body movement that I have noticed. That is not so much, you don't say that it's a negative thing that I have noticed, but since it's a feedback where I would reiterate what are the unintentional body movements, I am stating these facts. You topping up from your toes, that is one thing. And when you forget, you close your eyes and you start to think. And I would like to give an example of our presiding officer Kaushik. When he speaks, he thinks, but he gives such a, his body language would be such, like he would go for a pause and he thinks, we know that he thinks, but it is, you can't see that in that body language. We can learn from our presiding officers when it comes to thinking while speaking. That is the second feedback that I want to give. And finally, that close when you ended your speech, that was all of a sudden. That was all of a sudden, and I would expect you could have given a summary for that. So these are the feedbacks that I have, and the favorite parts was smiley face. That smiley face is hard to maintain when you speak. Even while I'm speaking, it's not smiley face. I try to make a smiley face, but it's pretty hard. We have an example of our Toastmaster Karthikeyan, who maintains that smiley face, and Kaushik, and as well as you have Ramesh, who maintains that smiley faces during their speeches. And that was a very positive thing, which is a rare quality that I noticed in your speech. The smiley faces and gestures was good. You used your gestures pretty well, and movements in your stages, that was also pretty good. So all in all, it was a good speech, and if you correct those unintentional movements, unintentional body movements, it would be a great speech. And all the best, very best for your future speeches. Toastmasters are great then, and over to
Thank you, Toastmaster Mani. Now I would like to call the third evaluator, Toastmaster Kaushik.
So firstly, I loved how my target speaker did not lose her cool even though the disruptors were a professional. So firstly, I love when she was posed with the wrong answer, she took it up and acknowledged that it is a wrong answer in order not to disrespect, but still have that empathy to correct that particular disruption. Secondly, so when she was disturbed to a point where she had multiple disruptions, I love that hard okay. It resets the whole thing and it neglects the disruptions. I love what you did with that hard okay, it resets everything. Now, when you were asked with a question, when my target speaker was asked with a question, and she had the answer to the question, but it was in a later part of the speech. I love when she said, I'll get back to you on that particular question. So now here are a few things which I think my target speaker could improve on, or some tips. So one thing, when posed with a question, do repeat their name or their question. So Ramesh sir, yes, your question is? So your question is patience or something else, something like that. Because what that does is, it stops the disruptor or the questioner and it refocuses your own sense on the particular question that was posed. Second tip or something that you could try is when posed with two different questions at a time. So at a point, Toastmaster Ramesh had a question as well as another interruption with Toastmaster Karthikeyan. So you could have said, sir, I'll just get back to your question after repeating this. So it gives you a pause, plus it also puts the disruptor on a pause, and so that you can address that first question and then get back to the second question. So these are the positives and some improvements which I would like you to try, and I wish you the very best. Over to the gentleman.
Thank you, Kaushik. Now I would like to call the fourth evaluator, Toastmaster Moni.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And my target speaker is Toastmaster Bharat. And I would like to speak about this topic, but I don't know what So, my target speaker is a veteran speaker, and it's like Sishyan evaluating guru. Yeah. So, since he is already a veteran speaker, I don't want to focus on the basic speaking skills, which like vocal variety and eye contact and all. I have to focus only on the feedbacks that I have 3 feedbacks, improvements that you can make in this. The first thing is, I purposefully asked a question when you say what is this flower, what does this mean, what that topic name, and I said it's flower, and you didn't address my question. I mean, you didn't address me, and this speech is all about inspiring audience, and I would like to have that awareness that what your audiences are all about, and that is the first feedback that I wanted to say, that be attentive to audience. That is one. And the second, your use of property, how it is related to your speech. I have one evidence, Toastmaster Triveden, in which we both had we had a doubt how it is related to our speech. That is how it is related to your speech. So you can improve by having more of explaining a lot or simplifying that how that flower, your property, is related to the speech. That is the second feedback. And third one, you had a vocal variety and pause, but since it's an inspiring speech, it could have been more louder. Since, for example, our Kaushik's speech in Division 11, you matter, your interest matter. The level of vocal variety was there, right? You can see the difference. You matter, your interest matter. So when it comes to your vocal variety, it can be differentiate between your inspiring words than your normal explaining words. In the normal explaining words, you have that vocal variety between the highs and lows, and when it comes to your inspiring words, you could have include that one. And also, you matter and your interest matter. It's a rhyming word, right? You can use these phrases to simplify what you want to convey. And those are the three feedbacks or improvements that I wanted to iterate in your speech. And thank you. Over to Chandra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monish. And now I'd like to call my tag team. But first, I'd like to call the timer for a quick report.
Thank you. Once again, good evening to all of you. Regarding the prepared speeches, the first prepared speech was given by Toastmaster Juliet Monica. Yeah. The minimum allotted time was 5 minutes, but the total time taken by the first speech giver was 3 minutes, 21 seconds and 76 sub-seconds. So I'm afraid to tell you that she gets disqualified. And regarding the prepared speech 2, this was given by Toastmaster Triveden, who took 6 minutes, 40 seconds and 83 sub-seconds. So well within the range, 7 minutes range. You are about to touch that ceiling. And in respect of prepared speech 3, Toastmaster Kriti, she was given maximum 9 minutes, out of which she only took 7 minutes, 47 seconds and 82 sub-seconds. Very good, keep it up. In respect of the prepared speech number 4, that was given by Toastmaster Bharat, he took 6 minutes, 33 seconds and 79 sub-seconds out of 7 minutes, well within the range. Congrats. And we are now moving on to the table topics, handled very nicely and deftly handled by Toastmaster Nandini. She made color as a choice and offered the same her choice to others also. So that was an interesting thing. The first speaker, who happened to be Toastmaster Kalai, he concluded his speech at the exact 1 minute 56 seconds and 33 sub-seconds, well within the range. And the guest speaker, first guest speaker, I think, who was the first speaker? Actually, the minimum time for the table topics is 1 minute, and the excess time above 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But you took just 46 seconds and 38 sub-seconds, so well below the 1 minute range. So I'm afraid to tell you that you also get disqualified. So you need to improve upon the third guest Dr. Surendra. Yes. Yeah, he took 1 minute 45 seconds and 59 sub-seconds. The fourth contestant, he Toastmaster Srinath. Yeah, I think you took 35 seconds and 70 sub-seconds, below 1 minute range. So I'm afraid to tell you that you also stand disqualified in this record. And finally, Toastmaster Ramesh, he just took 1 minute 38 seconds and 13 sub-seconds. Thank you, Toastmaster, for giving me an opportunity to elaborate on the timing.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manohar. Now I'd like to call the Archfounder and grammarian Toastmaster Ramesh to present it.
So good evening all of you. This is the grammarian report, and the word of the day is interruption, and very few have used it. And the very heartening thing is that the idioms were used at large, and most of them used, and it was very heartening. And when I come to the prepared speeches on the grammatical part, Ms. Monica, Toastmaster Monica, Toastmaster Triveden, Toastmaster Kriti, Toastmaster Bharat, and I couldn't find any grammatical mistakes there. And so it was a fantastic speech with them. And Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, and the words that he used, I kept on noting it down because reciprocate, indebted, couplet, connotation, interlude, have nots, deprive, disparate, catastrophic, culminate. So all these words, I kept noting it down. So that can be added into our speeches as and when it is required. And when it comes to Triveden, studious, ironic, flash forward, lucrative, hectic, wonderful. When it comes to Toastmaster Bharat, he was deliciously suspicious. So there are grammatically, I couldn't find any flaws there. And when it comes to our counter, I have one recommendation, whether this our counter, the term can be read into just because we are getting influenced, and every time we say just because we have this, can we rephrase it or because most of us have used it, and especially Toastmaster Triveden at the start of the speech, it was full of us, and over a period of time, it got eliminated, and finally towards the end of the speech, we could hear some us. And other than that, it was all our performance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh, for your report. So with this, my team's introduction is done. So let's go to the overall report of this session. So first of all, I hope you all had a very good session today with a lot of learning and people performing on stages. And I hope you all find it very enthusiastic, right? So first of all, it's coming to the Surgeon at Arms, who's responsible for starting the meeting and arranging all the things. Like here, we have started the meeting exactly on 3:30. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Monish, for that. And whenever Toastmaster Monish comes onto the stage, he always tries to bring in some innovation in his role. You know, he never misses to do that. And so actually he tries to bring in innovation by asking the ground rules to the people, and people were started saying it. But one thing that I wanted to suggest on this particular aspect is that when you ask people, right, when people are answering at the next point of time, it makes the flow not interrupted. But when I see people are thinking on it, and some of the points that nobody was able to say, and finally you were repeating, right? So it actually obstructs the flow of the meeting, because as an SAA, you have the beautiful opportunity to set the tone of the meeting in a very enthusiastic and in an energetic way. So maybe you can, I would request you to maybe say the ground rules by yourself, because it actually, the most important thing is maybe the members can guess it out, but it disconnects the guests who are part of the meeting to think on the points that you are trying to get, right? So maybe this one thing that you could work on. And the second thing was we all have our club badges, and I don't see nobody is wearing it today. And I request probably check on this thing as I say it. So other than that, you did a very good job, Toastmaster Monish. Close to you on that. And next comes to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Kaushik. So Kaushik started off with a very positive tone, and he recognized the efforts of the members, and then he made the guests feel so comfortable while giving the introductions, and people deliver very comfortably. That's one thing that you need to make sure that when you are a presiding officer asking people for introduction. Great job on that, Toastmaster Kaushik. And moving on to my tag team, the timer Toastmaster Manoparan. So actually Manoparan always comes up with very innovative ideas in his role, and I like the way how he brings the color cards and showed it while explaining about the time limits. Great job on that, sir. And he also clearly mentioned the time limits. But one thing that I would suggest for you is that at some point of time when you are saying about the time, you were not too much confident on saying about the time limits, right? I think you felt a little bit forgetful about those, and you were asking people what's the buffer time, right? So because whenever you are a timer, even after you saying the time limits correctly, people usually forget it, right? So you have to be very confident on the time limits when you are playing the role and explaining it to the people, so that people will be much more aware of what are the time limits for each of the segments. Probably you could have a little more practice on the buffer time as well as the time limits. I think that could have bring in more clarity to the members, especially for the guests, to aware of what is the exact time limit for each of the segments. Right? And moving on to the R-counter, Toastmaster Ramesh, as well as the grammarian. Yes, so Ramesh always brings in more enthusiasm in whatever the role he plays, and especially I love the way he connected the idioms, and I'm very happy that everybody has started using throughout the session. Even though then the word of the day, people started using idioms. I think almost everyone sitting in the room used it, right? So great job on that, Toastmaster Ramesh. And especially it always takes courage to play dual roles, right? Especially in Toastmasters, and you have to focus on both the accounts and the grammatical part. So you have done it fantastically. Great job on that. And when it comes to the recommendation, yeah, I think you have missed out to appreciate the people who who used the word of the day. Probably, if you could found like who all used it, maybe you can just mention their name and you can congratulate them, right? So this is one thing. And other than that, fantastic job, Toastmaster Ramesh. And when it comes to the joke master Kalimani, so Kalimani made his role very easy. He kept it in a form of narrative as a dialogue as well, and he used to give jokes even with the alphabetical letters. That was more interesting and made people more engaging. People were answering. He made it in a question and answer way, where even in a joke he made people interacting. So great idea for that, Toastmaster Kalimani. And one thing that I want you to maybe work on is like especially when you are delivering a joke, your body language is more important. Probably if you could maybe do some body language to make the joke more efficient, it could make easily people laugh. So that is one thing. Other than that, great job for Toastmaster Kalimani. And coming to the news master, Toastmaster Nandini, well, she picked the important news that that are very important us to know as people who are living here. And yeah, and I especially like the way that she has introduced VTC's achievements as the news, which made the role more interesting. And one thing that I wanted to suggest you for is, when you come and started doing your role, probably if you to add more creativity, maybe you can say like why we should be aware of the news that is happening. Maybe instead of just coming and starting with the news, maybe just you can have 1 or 2 lines saying why you are playing this role and why it's important for every one of us to know. This could have added more clarity. And other than that, fantastic job, Nandini. And moving on to the court master, Toastmaster Srinath. Well, he did a fantastic job. Especially he repeated the quote, so that thing maybe can be done by all the court masters. And he clearly explained the scenarios like how this quote can be impactful in our life. So great job on that, Toastmaster Srinath. And moving on to the table topic master, Nandini again. Well, I like the way she tried to implement the idiom again, even in her own script of saying about table topics. That's really good. And I like the way she appreciated each and every speaker after they finished the speech. That always motivates the speaker to do more. So great job on that, Toastmaster Nandini. And other than that, I don't find anything to recommend. Probably, while reading out the topic, be more confident so that people, if you are nervous, people will become nervous, right? And other than that, fantastic job, Toastmaster Nandini. And moving on to the TD speaker one, so Toastmaster Kalaimani. Probably I think if I go on everyone, it will take time. Yeah. So maybe if I want to say about TD speaker 2, guest Sasi Kumar. Well, one thing that you want to do when it comes to table topics or speaking in front of people, it's actually not the English that matters, the confidence that matters. Because it seems like he used English words and he fluently spoke for some part of the speech. It doesn't seem like, he's not good in English, but he is good in English, but it just seems like he is little more hesitant and nervous, right? So this is one thing that, we all must need to focus on. I think at one point of time, everyone will be in that situation and you grow and become to that fluent level, right? So confidence matters, and I hope you have the confidence, and I will really see you as a speaker very soon. And yeah, so other than that, yes, Surendra was very confident, and I really like the way how he approached the topic more insightfully. Great job on that. And Toastmaster Srinath, yes, his story, it was really touching, saying about his mother and saying about his father and all these things. And the final TT speaker was Ramesh, who also connected about the topic very well by saying about the trees, why we need to protect them. Great job for all the TT speakers. And moving on to the most important person of today's meeting, Toastmaster of the day. Well, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. Well, so first of all, even he used the idiom and idiom of that we have been learning throughout this week, and he very much used in the script and made it interact to everyone. And he clearly explained what is giving and giving back, wherein giving is charity and giving back is, it's mandatory. And he introduced a lot of stories that made everyone to connect with the content, that relatable examples that people should agree that giving back is very important. Right? So he always comes up with very beautiful stories that connects the audience and make his content more interesting. Great job on the Toastmaster Karthikeyan. We're coming on the suggestion part. When you start off your role as a TMOD, I felt like in the beginning you went, I think you have taken more time and went more theoretically. So especially when you're playing the role of TMOD, so your role is, it's like a host where you have to carry out the session, like it has to go with the flow. Because if you could have a little bit reduced during an introduction, people will see all the roles are coming up and the session goes even more smooth, right? Probably I would advise you to maybe shorten your introduction during the role of TMOD, and then maybe you can have the little more bigger one in the middle, and then finish it with the conclusion. So that is one thing. And other than that, we missed out to say about the structure of the meeting during the initial stage, and then if did it after the report is done. Probably you could have done it in the beginning. And then one more thing is, don't reveal the speech title when you are giving the introduction about the speaker, because speech titles are kept to be more interesting and excited. Because even if the contestant asks me to reveal the speech title in front of the contestants, I will not say it, because I want to keep it more excited when people listening to my topic. So so make sure that I think you are playing the role for the first time and you have did your best, and these small corrections can make your role even more better. Great job on that Toastmaster. I think for the evaluators in general, everybody has done a very good job, and especially Toastmaster Kaushik clearly mentioned about the objectives as well as when it comes to report, he was very specific about what are the things that needs to be improved when it comes to Kriti, and Monej was even more good, and Kalaimani was also good. So one thing that I wanted to recommend for Kalaimani is that probably when you give recommendations, appreciations, you could give it with an example, because the speaker will not agree when you say the speech was perfect. You'd say some example that why it was perfect. Maybe if you could have found some part of the speech where you can say that it was perfect. Similarly, the vocal variety, you say the speech had a very good vocal variety. Maybe you could have given some examples to make the speaker really agree that your evaluations are valid, right? So this is a common suggestion that I would like to give all of you. And for the speakers in general, probably try to have more narrations in your speeches, right? Because when you have more characters, people will be more engaging to listening at your script. And I think I'm overshooting my time. And with this, over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bharat. It was a wonderful covering of the whole day's events very well. He has done it around it. He covered each and every activity of the session. So there is nothing more I would like to add except that the guest numbers are increasing. It is 3 today out of 15, which is 20%. It's a good number. And yeah, because I am here because of him. So yeah, well, thanks for because you're all veterans. You do it very nicely. But I am a backbencher then and now also. So give me some time. I will try to correct all the mistakes. Otherwise, it was I think wonderful session. We all enjoyed, and the guest, particularly Sashikumar BO, was a very good attempt. And never ever worry about I'm fumbling and stumbling. No, because here nobody is going to evaluate you. We have the evaluators. That's only for the namesake. You take your time, be yourself, and be your natural self, and then you will come up. I have seen even Ritika in Krishnanagar, she was so hesitant, nervous and all that, but just 2-3 sessions for her to come out of her shell. And same also Toastmaster Nandini, she is doing fantastic exponential growth. Of course, we can't grow because we are past the
already grown.
We are over the growth. It's not possible for us easily to adapt and absorb things like you people do. Anyway, it was a wonderful session. I will not take much time, and I would like to interrupt my speech now and hand it over to the presiding officer,
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So we have shared the ballots in the guest group. Do open and vote for your best speakers, evaluators, and role players. It's there in the guest group. So while everybody votes, I would like to request the guests to come on stage and say a few words about the whole meeting. So, Sasikumar, could we start with you? You will come here.
It's a really very useful thing. I have a lot of confidence. This is the right place to learn in communication skills and leadership quality. So I am very excited about future days traveling with you. So I am very happy to hear, sir. Thank you for such a great opportunity to come.
Thank you. Actually, as the general evaluator said, your English is fine. It's just that fear or something. And like Avsar said, it just takes about 2 sessions and you will be changed. Thank you. Could we have yours?
So I'll say from here. So before coming to this Toastmasters meeting, I was having so much of hesitation, like what will be there, and I wasn't sure of what to expect of this meeting. So after coming, I was like a little bit hesitant on what is going to happen, and like everyone is new for me. So everyone will have that inferiority or something, like how we are going to see this meeting about. So once the meeting started, everyone, the way they took the meeting was very nice, and I personally felt like everyone is engaging other people to do their best. So that thing I liked about this Toastmasters. So everyone has their own unique talents, and they are focusing it on this stage. So good luck and well done. Yeah.
Thank you. We have your.
So it was really a nice session. I find it very productive to enhance our speaking skills and personality development. So it was really a nice session.
Thank you. So a lot of people who come and join here, even though we see each other every single week, you see somebody every single week, the change is not noticeable. Somebody grows, you don't notice that change. But when it comes to speaking, you can notice that change in people because it's that effective of a change. So it just takes about 2 or 3 sessions, like how Toastmaster Karthikeyan said, to change how a person speaks. So do join us again as guests. It's completely free, and you can visit another time or join us, talk to our Toastmaster Triveden and see how things go. So thank you for joining us this week. Hope to see you all soon again. So now, do we have the ballot results, Toastmaster Monish? So when I was at the district conference, I met a speaker, and she said, look at my speech and you evaluate me. So I saw the speech, I was like, okay, going through, I couldn't follow. It was about 8 minutes roughly, the speech. Then I asked her, it didn't have structure or anything, it wasn't actually a good speech, to be honest. But I just asked her, but since she was a Toastmaster for a long time, so I asked her, which level are you in? She said, I'm in level 3. So it turns out what she didn't do was follow those pathway projects. So in those pathway projects, we have every single project has like a particular idea that it revolves around. You give a speech, for example, second path. The second project, it says you give a speech but focus on vocal variety alone. So that particular speech, you are supposed to focus on the vocal variety of that particular speech. Then maybe the third project is about the structure of a speech. So the third project will be only about, you give your speech about any topic, but focus on the structure alone. So by the time you finish your level 2, you know the basics of every single speech, basics of a speech, and you become an effective speaker. You know those particular things that you need to do. And her mistake was that she didn't follow those particular projects title that was there. So because of that, it's a loss of a whole year. All we have to do is just look through those projects, download and read it, and plan our speeches accordingly. So I do encourage everybody to follow those particular projects in those pathways. So with that, yes. So the best speaker award will obviously go to the district division contender. So the best role player, of course, again goes to our hero for today. Of the day, goes on So the best tag role player, somebody who's been playing the role not just today, but throughout the week, was Master Ramesh.
Any further?
So best table topic speaker, again Toastmaster Ramesh. Best evaluator, myself. Thank you guys for thank you. So I just want to say thanks to the people who took up roles at the last moment. Toastmaster Nandini, even though she joined about 3 or 4 a month ago, yesterday afternoon and evening she took up the role of the table topic master, and it was the first time. And Toastmaster Bharat took up the role of the general evaluator today morning at 11 o'clock. So kudos and thanks to you both for taking up at the last moment. So with that, our next meeting will be on the next Sunday on 12th. Do join us and see you all there. With that, thank you, and let's all gather for a group picture. Could we all just help with moving these chairs?